All right, so good evening. Am I muted? Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Marlon Molina. I'm Deputy Commissioner for the Department of Planning and Community Development. I want to welcome you to tonight's webinar. It's a small business webinar. We are very happy to welcome Charito Cisneros and Romy Panella. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Got it.
So today we're going to cover subjects that deal with barbershops, hair salons, nail salons. So I encourage you to pay close attention. If you have a question, please, and I see the mayors coming in. If you have a question, please submit it on the chat. We will get to questions after the presentations, but if there's a question that's relevant to the presentation that is going on, we will go ahead and share it. So I want to thank everyone for joining us. She can barely hear me.
Thank you for inviting us to be part of this great informative webinar.
So I see Mayor Patterson has joined us. And I'm trying to promote her to a panelist. Oh, there she is.
Hello.
Good evening.
I could still barely hear you. I don't know if there's an issue with your speaker on your side, but I can barely hear you on this end.
All right, so I'll try to fix it. Give me a second.
Good afternoon, Mayor Howard. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
Very good. Loving your hair. That's what I'm doing.
It's better now. It's better. It's better. Okay, you're good, Marlon.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
You just muted yourself.
I just did, yeah. So I think, you can get us started. We are live on Facebook, so you might want to welcome this audience as well.
Hello, my name is Mayor Sean Patterson Howard, and I'm so glad that you are joining us today. I know that we have Charito Cisneros with us, and I just want to thank our planning department, our resilience committee, as well as the New York State Hispanic Latino Chamber of Commerce and the Beauty and Barber committee for being a part of this tonight. So it's the New York State Hispanic Cosmetology and Beauty Chamber of Commerce. I had to get that right. I had to look down.
It's a long title.
It's a long title. It's a long title. But thank you so much for coming and being a part of this today. And the reason that we are putting on this webinar is because we want to make sure that our personal care businesses are really aware of what they need to have in place. They've been open for a month, but we want to make sure that they're aware of the best practices and compliance issues that will keep them safe as well as their customers safe. And then we also want to make sure that the community is aware of how they can gain access to capital and support and technical assistance that they need. As I've gone through many of our personal care businesses, I'm happy to see that many of them have gone for their Barberside COVID-19 training. And so, that's great to see that on their walls. But there's so much, and we know because of the very intimate and close spacing of a person who is getting their hair or their nails or anything like that, who's part of the personal care business, that we want to ensure that we are all protected, that our workers are protected and that our community is protected. And because many of you are small businesses, we want to make sure that you know about the services, the technical assistance, and the financial assistance that might be out here so that you could benefit from it, because our small businesses are the backbone of our community, and we don't want to see anyone close down their business. So we are here as partners to provide information and education, but we're also here to ensure compliance with what we need to prevent the spread of COVID and any other illness here in the community. So again, thank you for being partners. Thank you for coming and sharing this information with us. And I hope those who are looking out at the community tonight, whether you own a personal care business or you use a personal care business, it's important for you to look in on this webinar tonight, because it will inform you of what you should be looking for when you go into different businesses, and when you're supporting other businesses. So everyone, please take advantage of the information, take all of it that you need, and put your questions in the comment in the chat boxes so that this panel of experts can reply to your questions and or concerns. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Mayor. So, you know, at this point, actually, I want to invite Charito Cisneros and Romy Panella to go ahead and share the information that is going to help our business, our personal care businesses grow, and also to make sure that they, you know, adhere to safety measures. So the floor is yours.
Thank you, Marlon. Thank you so much. My name is Charito Cisneros. I'm the president and founder, the first in United States Cosmetology and Beauty Chamber of Commerce. And also, I'm really happy to be partnered with the City of Mount Vernon. And thank you for inviting us as a chamber. I would like to just continue work together to give it more information about the business on the street. And I'm very happy to work with the mayor in this in Mount Vernon. And thank you also, Mrs. Sharon Hour, to work together in this particular in the beauty, because really the beauty industry is a big industry in the world. In this case, and they need a lot of support. As instructor for 36 years in this country, I know what they need. All the beauty salon, all the people, the government support them. So it's very important this webinar to let them know the people why they need it. And thank you again. Thank you so much. Romy?
Yes. So, you know, I recently need glasses, so I'm gonna have to put those bad boys back on. There you go. Thank you, Howard. There you go. Oh, thank you so much again, Major Howard, for giving us this opportunity to reach out to our beauty industry community that is so important and imperative at this time of crisis. There's a lot of small businesses that are very suffering, especially the small businesses that are in the beauty industry. So we're going to give them opportunity exactly what's going on, what's the guideline, what's the mandatory, what do you need to obtain this license, because there are a lot of small business, even though they're open now, they are working without a license, and it's not a good thing to have, because now we do have chief investigator going all the stores to make sure they're compliant with COVID regulation and the state regulation. And we want to make sure that they are compliant, not only with their license, but also with the rules and regulations for their store, so that, because I know they have a lot of debt going on with rent and utility and so forth, they don't want another summon coming in. So everyone who's listening, please listen, take notes. It's very important. I know you're getting a lot of information from your fellow beauty salons next door telling you information, and they might be right and they might be wrong, but you got to understand there's a website, the governor website, you could always look, and they also have all languages. So it's nothing that you can say, I speak Spanish and they don't have information. They do have those information. Trying to find out exactly what are the guidelines, because I see people going crazy buying a lot of protective gears that are not mandatory, and they're just selling. So I want to take this opportunity, and I'm going to share the screen. Again, Thank you, Mayor Howard. This is great what you're doing for your community of Mount Vernon. This is awesome. And it's a woman, so I'm loving every part of it.
I'm going to get my hair done tomorrow.
Oh, no, you look great. Let me tell you, the first time I was looking at your hair, I was like, oh, she is styling. I like that. You know, we're in the video industry, so we can.
I like the hairstyle.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it. So I'm going to share my screen. Hopefully, let's see. Okay, so we're going to go right to it. Okay. So as we mentioned, we are the New York Hispanic Cosmetology Beauty Chamber of Commerce. Just to let you know, we're service to everyone and in the industry, not just the Hispanic. The reason we opened with Hispanic, because back in 20 years ago, there was a lot not known in the Spanish language. So we wanted to make sure that every rules and regulations and information about the licensing, anything related to the beauty industry are understood in the Spanish language, but we do cater to everyone in the Chamber of Commerce. I'm just going to talk a little bit really quickly about us. We're the first cosmetology chamber of commerce that exists in the United States, as Charito had mentioned. We work very close with the Department of Licensing, Small Business Development Center, SBA, SBS, and also the IRS is so important for those beauty industry that are working as renting a chair or just working commission. They really need to know how and understand how the operation of accounting and tax and payrolls. So IRS works a lot with us in regarding to that. Our team are professionals, assistant parents, and enhancement industry by helping professionals to obtain their license and understand the rules and regulations of the state. As a result of the effort and hard work, the Department of State translated material back in the days in 2005, the Spanish and Latino community. And we have helped many small startup businesses since then. We have helped more than 5,000 beauty salon. Myself and Charito won the Small Business Administration Award. One is Woman Business Award, one champion, and one Minority Champion of the Year. So we have opened, I believe, 119 salons in 1 year. So we are expert in the area of the business, but this is why we want to be able to give you the information that we know and accumulate for the past 20 years. What we do is, like I mentioned, the guidance and license, advanced beauty programs, workshops, seminars, access to loans, open and operating business, network, and so forth. So here is the reopen of guidelines in hair, beauty salon, and personal care services. So what we have done, we are working endlessly to provide, let me just bring that down. We are working endlessly to provide every support we can give to our beauty business community. We have distributed PPEs, apply loans, including PP programs, New York Forward funding loans. I'm sure Mr. Malone will speak more about at the end of the presentation. We also have distributed food, essentials, necessity to our community. We announce every COVID-19 grants available. And right now, just to let you know, those who are listening, the grants for LISC is open and is the deadline is next week. There's not the huge requirement on this. The only requirement is how your small business was affected by the COVID. So guys, this is a great opportunity. Again, it's LISC. I could put this information in the chat so everybody could know how to get in. We are going to city to support and guide our beauty business community. Now, many questions are asked, how to become licensed. I'll be working with a license. So here it goes. For cosmetology, and Charito, you could squeeze in there if you want to be able to tell about the information of licensing. In cosmetology licensing, you could, if you have your study from another country and you come to New York and you want to be able to obtain your license, you can, with the following requirement. The following requirements are the diploma of the school that you graduated and the detailed hours of the school that you have graduated. And we also need the reference. You do need, a lot of people ask me, because I graduated from another country, does that mean do I have to take the whole schooling here in New York? The answer is most likely no. The majority, I would say 95% is no. If you have the 1,500 hours that they're asking here, is 1,500 hours that they're asking here for the state of New York. We work for different states, that's why I want to double check. So 1,500 hours. With barbering, we do have the barbering. You could do the same thing if you have studied another country. If you go to school here, you have to take the test. Let's say if you didn't go to school and you want to be able to get a apprentice barber license, you can do that as long as you're working for someone and they could write you off. A supervisor could write you off, and you could work for them for 2 years and be able to get your master afterward, taking a test. For nail technician, I don't know if you guys know, but we did work with Governor Cuomo, I believe, back in 2015, when the first regulations of the nails came out, where nail technician has the opportunity to not just go to school, but also be an apprentice to someone in nail technician, so they could be able to take their license. They gave them that opportunity. They also are wages that they should have. I know they're talking about the Bill of Rights with the minimum wage paying rolled in the nail salons. Esthetician the same way as the cosmetologist, where again, if you're from another country, you could bring in the diploma in the detail hours. If you study here, or you coming, let's say, from Connecticut, you could always transfer your license. Now, let me tell you one thing. A lot of people, and you will hear this, they're charging you $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. That is not correct. The submission of the application is only $45, people. So please don't get fraud. It's still happening, especially right now in a time of need, when they know that people want to obtain their license. They are trying to sell out this license. And let me tell you, if you do come out with a license, with a false license, you won't be able to renew your license. Even if you want to, you're going to have to start all over again. So if you did have study or you have worked as an apprentice, there's an opportunity for you to obtain those licenses. Don't get in that mix of the fraud. For those business, again, if you guys have any question regarding the licensing, I know I'm going a little bit too fast. I just want to be able to get over all the guidance that we want to be able to talk about, the mandatory and the suggestions of the guideline from the state of New York. The other one is, it's a very important. A lot of people don't have insurance. Very, very important to have the insurance in small businesses. I really don't know how you even work without a business license. It's mandatory. You have to have a business license to open and operate your business, even on the salons. In order to do so, you do have to have insurance. You have to have worker compensation in a nail salon. So it's very important, because they will, the fact that you're not being compliant and you get away with it a year or two, it's going to come back and bite you, because you're going to end up paying all those years that you did not compensate or really tell them exactly how. They say the worker compensation, and you've been working without worker compensation for 3 or 4 years. Yes, you're going to end up paying all that summon from the year that you haven't started, like from the year you didn't start it to pay. So it's going to accumulate, and it's going to be up to 10 to 15,000. I see where people are 30,000, and it's very sad, because they be something they could have controlled in the very beginning. They let it go, and they have to close their business. So don't let that happen to you. Very important. Our chamber does a lot in regarding to business operation. A lot of beauticians out there, barber, nail technicians, esthetician. You're very talented what you do, but if you don't know how to run and operate your business and be on the guidelines and regulatory, it's not going to go anywhere. So it's very, very important that you attend. I'm sure that the city of Mount Vernon has that opportunity for you guys to be educated. We also, the Chamber of Commerce, Cosmetology Beauty Chamber of Commerce, have you the opportunity to be part of the understanding how to operate the business, and how to you do your payrolls and your taxes. A lot of small businesses did not qualify for these PP loans. And I'm sure Marlon was going to speak to that at the end of the presentation about those PP programs. But a lot of them didn't qualify. Why? Because a lot of them was paying cash. A lot of people didn't do the 1099. A lot of people didn't did the right thing in order to, when something like this happened, they won't have the opportunity to obtain the loans. So guys, we might have a second wave, who knows? We don't know, but you gotta be prepared and make sure you operating your business correctly, and make sure you got the, you know, if you're on the payroll, if you're doing 1099, make sure you got that all settled. It's very important. Another thing that advancing your beauty education, it's very important because now the competition is very, very fierce. There's people who will lower their price on their services only to gain more clientele. I'm sure you guys know that a lot of employees from all beauty salons and barber and nail salons are really shortened because they're working from home. I have someone that I work very closely, and she's one of the celebrity nail technician, and she normally have 2 salons, and she about have 21, I believe 21 to 24 employees. She's down to 5, and she's still fighting for more. And it's been a month and a half, and not one more came in. So guys, it's very important that advancing your beauty education, giving the services, more advanced services to your clients, something that they haven't never tried, is the best thing to do in regarding to the competition, because you really don't want to bring your price down and your value of the persona of what you do down. Another thing, there's a lot of opportunity on the website of the Small Business Administration, the SBDC. MWBE also have opportunity for those who are in their certification. So look out for every one of them. That's very important. Marlon, does anybody have any questions at this point before I keep on going?
No, you can go ahead. No questions yet.
Okay. So what is mandatory? Well, here's a few things that are mandatory that you do need for your business. Limit the workforce and customer presence to no more than 50% of the maximum capacity for a particular area as set by the certificate of occupancy. 50%. Ensure 6 feet distance between individual unless safety or core function of the work activities require shorter distance. For example, haircut. Number 3, ensure that customer seating allows customer to maintain 6 feet distance from all other except for the employee providing services unless a physical barrier is in place. Now, a lot of people think that is a requirement on these beauty salons to put the barrier, the physical barrier. That's one of the suggestions we will like. They are saying that you could be able to provide that, the dividers. However, what we need is just the 6 feet distance, face shield and mask both clients and employees. So the waiting room, there shouldn't be no waiting room. What a lot of people is doing is they're making the appointment online. And once they make the appointment online, they will wait in their cars or they will wait outside. There should be no waiting room inside the store. All lines should be avoided, okay? Walk-in customers who are not able to be immediately served should be provided at time to return. In other words, don't tell them to stay until you finish. Let them know what time would you be available for next time. Smaller spaces, such as stock rooms and behind cash register, must be occupied only by one individual at a time. I have seen a lot of salons that I have visited. They have 2 people back there, and sometimes they have kids. That's a no-no. You guys cannot, you know, you got to think of the safety of others and safety for your employees and safety for families. So you should have one person behind the counter, 6 feet away. And if you would have a plastic shield, even better, so that you could be able to do the interaction. A lot of people also use the cash register, the credit card, for them to swipe their own credit card and put their own PIN number. So that's a great way of doing it so that you don't have to take their credit card from their hand so that you could do it. Limit in-person employee and gathering. So we don't want to have a lot of people. Again, 50% of the space is what is required. Establish designated areas for pickup and delivery. Limited contact to extent possible. Close all non-essential amenities, including product samples, water fountain, magazine that shouldn't be out there. I know they still have people putting their magazine on the table so that the client could see what kind of style they have. What is best is that if a client want a particular design or color on their hair or on the nails design, it's best that they send you a picture of what they want instead. So that you have an idea. Once they come into the salon, you'll be able to work on the idea that they send you over the appointment book or through your phone text. So that's any question from there. Okay, now what is suggested? Like as I mentioned before, the appointment only, right? That's suggested, it's not required, but it's suggested to do so because like that, nobody has to wait in the waiting room and you don't want to have people waiting outside. I see in a lot of restaurants where they do have those 6 feet stickers outside so that one-on-one could be coming in. You really don't, you're trying to avoid that. Create additional space for employee by limiting in-person presence to only personnel necessary for current task. Adjusting hair salon and barbershop hours to spread employees and customer traffic over a longer period of time. Staggering arrival departure times of creating A and B team. 3, use tele or video conferences for employee interaction whenever possible. Essential in-person gathering, example, staff meeting, should be held in open and ventilated spaces with a proper social distance. I've seen a lot of people who've been doing, you know, besides the tele or video conferences, they have met with their staff in parks. I've seen that they have meet with and took precautions on that. So anything that are ventilated space where you could be able to make your meeting, that would be great. Modify the use or district the number of workspace and employee seating areas to maintain 6 feet distance. Install physical barrier, that's, again, it's a suggestion. Install physical barrier to divide employee workstation. We understand that a lot of beauty businesses does not have enough money to even put those physical barriers, and it's fine. As long as you got 6 feet away from the next person next to you. Modify layouts and reduce bi-directional foot traffic by posting sign with arrows and narrows, aisle, hallway, or space. That's a great idea. I have seen many beauty salons where literally you have in and it tells you where you're going in and then you're going out. So I think that's a great idea so that people, I guess that's more for the bigger salon versus a smaller salon, but that's a great idea to do as well. Ask customers to wait in the car, as I mentioned before, at least 6 feet away until the appointment time. Provide clearly designated separate entrance and exit. Eliminate or relax consolation fees to encourage customers to stay home if they become sick. Encourage customers to use touchless payment option or pay ahead. Prohibit non-essential visitors at the salon or barbershop locations, such as children's. I don't think it's a great idea. So I know there's a lot of people don't have a babysitter and they want to have their hair done, but it's best that you don't bring in kids as you're doing your hair or your nails or so forth. Number 9, post social distancing marketer use tape or sign that denote 6 feet of spacing in commonly used areas. Again, people, this is something that the New York State government has on their website. So if you miss of a presentation, you could always go into their website and go into personnels or hair salons, and you will see all the guidelines that they have there. Okay, protective equipment. What is mandatory? You provide employees with an acceptable face covering at no cost to employees and have adequate supply of covering in case of need replacement. Acceptable face covering, including but not limited to clothes, homemade, but the bandanas, surgical masks, the N95 respirators, and face shields. Employee must wear a face covering that completely covers the nose and mouth. I have seen when people are blowing out the hair, they literally have the mask under their chin, right? And I remember Governor Cuomo stating that we should not use that as a chin guard, but use it as a face mask. So it's a great idea. I know it's hot. I know it's hard to breathe, but it's safety for yourself and for your client. So you really have to have something over your nose and over your mouth. Customers must only be permitted entry into their hair salon or barbershop if they wear acceptable face covering, provided they're over age 2 and medical able to tolerate one. Face covering must be clean and disinfected or replaced after use, or when damaged or soiled may not be shared and should be properly stored, discarded. I have seen where people are reusing your mask. I know sometimes the mask will be very expensive. I know there's a city wide are helping out to distribute these face masks, and the Chamber of Commerce, and we're doing that as well. We're distributing face masks, face shields, and also thermometer. But you do need to use that, okay? You can't use the same face mask for a month. It's gonna work on you. You know, you're accumulating a lot of bacteria, especially the one with the cloth. You think you could, there's a reason for the cloth. You could actually wash those. And it might be funny hearing that, but it's true. People don't, I seen it. It was all dirty and soiled, and then they put it right back in there. So employee must use gloves when providing services to customers, or perform hand hygiene before and after contact. If gloves are used, they must be replaced after each appointment. So it is a great idea that when your client comes in as well, to wash your hands, all right? So they wash their hands with soap and water and put the hand gel, and then they will be able to sit. So it's a great idea to wash their hands. Employees must wear clean smock or gowns. If providing covering like apron and smock to a client, covering must be disposable or clean or disinfected between each use. Okay, services offered must not require removable of a face mask, such as, for example, the beard trim. The suggestion they say is that at checkout, register, use physical barriers such as plastic sheet wheel. We mentioned about the shield wall, in areas where they will not affect airflow, heating, cooling, or ventilation. Any questions from now?
Romy, I would like to.
Yes.
I would like any suggestion about what you say. And also for the new regulation, they had the 6 feet, they're going to affect a lot of small business, because if they have like 8 employers, they have to be cutting 4. And suggest to the owner is give it alternation date, like example. That way everybody has that job. Another one is many of the business affect because they have to invest more money for disposable implementation. The most important in this case is also you tell the key. In that way, you have to reuse the material with the people. That way, you save that the customers, save yourself also, and also your business.
Okay. Any questions from now? Because we're going to be covering a lot of different places regarding to the guidelines. So I want to make sure that everybody understood in regarding to protective equipment.
So this is Marlon. No questions yet, but I wanted to say to the audience, si tiene una pregunta, la puede escribir en español y nosotros la traducimos al inglés. Muchas gracias.
Les puedo decir de que las sugerencias que les mencioné ahorita, me presento en español un ratito, Marlon.
So we're gonna pause we're gonna speak Spanish for about a couple of minutes, and then we'll come back to our English presentation. Dele.
Yo soy una maestra de 36 años en este país, en la cual lo que estaba mencionando, Romy, las regulaciones que hay hoy en el día, porque ha afectado la pandemia a los negocios, no solamente los negocios, sino personalmente. Yo estaba sugiriendo de que hay personas o negocios que tienen 8 empleados y tienen que dividirlo en 4, y para que no dejen ir a sus clientes, a sus empleados, denle días alternativos, y así de esa forma les da trabajo a todos y no quedan desempleados. En la otra es de que tienen que tener mucho cuidado con el material. Si ustedes no tienen el dinero necesario, por favor, lo que hacen es venderle el set a la clienta, que cada vez que ustedes van a recibir esa misma clienta, que lleven su material. Y de esa forma usted cubren a la clienta y se cubre usted mismo. Es bien importante que usted lean todas estas regulaciones, porque usted se está cubriendo usted, su clienta y su familia. Y si tiene alguna información, para eso estamos como Cámara de Comercio de Cosmetología y Belleza aquí en los Estados Unidos, en este caso Nueva York, y estamos trabajando muy contenta de trabajar con el mayor de Mount Vernon, la señora Sharon Howard, que muchísimas gracias por hacernos parte de su oficina y poder trabajar en la ciudad de Mount Vernon, que es una ciudad muy conocida y muy linda, en la cual estamos nosotros muy honrados de trabajar en conjunto con los pequeños negocios. En este caso son todo lo que concierne a la industria de la belleza.
Thank you, Charito.
You're welcome.
There are no questions yet, but we can continue, Romy.
Okay. So hygiene, cleaning, and disinfection. Here to hygiene, cleaning, and disinfection required from the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, Department of Health, and maintain cleaning logs on site that document date, time, and scope of cleaning and disinfection. Provide and maintain a hand hygiene station, including a hand washing with soap and water, paper towel, as well as alcohol-based hand sanitizer containing 60% or more of alcohol for areas where hand washing is not feasible. Okay, so you don't have a sink and don't have soap and water, make sure you have that 60% or more alcohol feasible for your clients to use. Place hand sanitizer throughout the hair studios or barbershop for use by employees and customers. Provide and encourage employees to use cleaning and disinfecting supplies before and after use of shared and frequently touched surface, followed by hand hygiene. Wash hands for 20 seconds with soap and water before and after providing services to each customers. Conduct regular cleaning and disinfection at least after every shift daily or more frequently as needed, and more frequently cleaning and disinfection of shared objects and surfaces, as well as high transit area, such as a payment device, restroom, common areas, using Department of Environmental Conservation, product identified by the Environmental Protection Agency as effective against COVID-19. Limit the share of objects such as clipper, comb, scissors, tools, and for nails. No buffer, no filers. They should be sterilized and they should not be shared. And discourage touching of sheer surfaces. Wear gloves, tray appropriate of medical, and perform hand hygiene before and after contact. Clean and disinfect workstation and tools between every customers. I'm going to repeat that because I don't think a lot of these salons are doing it, and I want to make sure they understand. Clean and disinfect the workstation and tools between each customers. Leave time between appointments for full workstation cleaning. In other words, once you finish with one client, you wait 15 to 20 minutes and then have your next appointment. Prohibit shares food and beverages among employees. It's preferable that you don't bring any food into these salons, and it's preferable not to bring any beverages as well. Somebody could be sneezing, They might put the mask down on their chin, and then there goes right into your drinks. So it's preferable not to. Whenever possible, this is a suggestion, whenever possible, increase ventilation of the outdoor by opening windows and doors, especially those who do keratin or anything that, you know, it's supposed to have ventilation in the first place, but it's best that you also open those windows and doors while maintaining safety precaution. Communication. Affirm you have reviewed and understand the state issue industry guideline and that you will implement them, okay? I'm gonna show you, let's see if I could do this. One is, actually, I will do that right after the presentation. I wanna show you a different website of this, what the New York State required for you to register. Post signage inside and outside of the hair salon or barbershop to remind personnel and customers to adhere to proper hygiene, social distancing rules, appropriate use of PPEs, and cleaning and disinfecting protocol. If Marlon permits, I could be able to send him a link of all the posters that are necessary, mandatory, that you have to have in your salon. I will give it to him so that you could get those links. And then you could download them and print them out. If you don't have a printer, you could always call 311 and they will provide you with all the posters, posters for free. I think the limited per poster, I believe, is 5. Train all personnel on new protocol and frequently communicate safety guidelines. Someone have asked me, do we have to always take temperature to everybody who comes into the salon? Yes, because every day is different. And every client that comes in or your employees should be tested with the thermometer. Now, I have been hearing lately that these thermometers, because it's so hot, a lot of people comes in with a little bit of fever, and in reality, it's not a fever. So they're complaining that why we use a thermometer if we don't not sure because everybody's coming so hot. So use your best judgment. If it's only 1 point away, like a 98, 99 or something, as long as not 100, I don't think that should be a problem. But you should question them. There should be a guideline of questions before they come in, when they come in, or you can even send them through an appointment of all the information about if they had a fever, if they have COVID, did they were quarantined, so that you make sure that your employees are safe and the other people that are clients in the area are safe as well. So that should have, you should have people sign that, fill that information upon arriving in the salon. Best that you send it to them before they get there so that you could have that information. Train all, notify the state and local health department immediately upon being informed of any positive COVID-19 test result by the employees. Okay, that's very important. Post completed safety plans on site, which I'm going to show you exactly what safety plan that is mandatory by the state of New York that you should have in, let me see if I could get it in your store. So this is, okay, let's go back to, okay, this is the New York Forward Safety Plan. If you could be able to screenshot this or maybe look at the email, the link is www.governor.ny.gov, site governor.ny.gov is a long, but it says NYS Business Reopening Safety Plan Template PDF. You should see this at the governor website at where it says reopening of the New York State. And then you go into where hair salon or barber shop or maybe personal services, you look under business reopening safety plan template. Now, this is like an example, okay? Many use the sample of the safety of use for their salon, but you could always tweak it the way you would like to make the safety of your salon. But this, you have to have the safety plan in your businesses in all time. Another one is, and I want to just, because it's open already, people have been asking me, oh, we have to have a business information before we open the business, small business? Yes, this is mandatory. You got a business information. You have to fill this out, and then you submit it. This is to let them know that you're using every precautions and what your business is, and the state wants to know about your business that are reopening. So this is the business affirmation by the New York Forward. Before you open your business, you have to submit that. Again, this is a New York State website. And if you want the link, we could be able to forward you the link, as well as the New York Forward Safety Plan. Again, these people, this is mandatory. We could forward that link for you guys. And another thing that is important that you see, these two tabs are here. These are the interim guidance for hair salon and barbershop during the COVID public health emergency. You guys should read this information so that you can comply everything they have mentioned. This is mandatory by the state of New York. So this one particular is for the hair salon and barbershop, and there's also one for personal cares, nail technician, skin, spot, and so forth, the tattooing. So those are the four tabs that is very important before reopening your business, or if you did open, this should be established. So back into the presentation. Okay, so we were here. Okay. Suggestion: use social media, verbal communication, and signs to provide customer with instruction, and to encourage them to use face covering in accordance with Governor Executive Order, CDC, and DOH guidance. Establish a communication plan for employee visitors and customers with a consistent means to provide update information. Screening: ensure that employee performs service directly on or to a customer, for example, hair cutting, are tested for COVID-19 through a diagnostic test every 14 days. Okay, this is not a suggestion, this is a mandatory. Every 14 days, so long as the region in which the hair salon, barbershop is located remain in phase 2 of state reopening. Implementing mandatory health screening practice. For example, the questionnaire that I have mentioned earlier, temperature check for employee asking about COVID symptom in the past 14 days, or second, positive COVID-19 test in past 14 days, or close to approximate contact with confirmed or suspected COVID-19 case in the past 14 days. An individual who screened positive for COVID-19 symptom must not be allowed to enter the location and must be sent home with instruction to contact the healthcare provider for assessment and testing. Immediately notify state and local health department of confirmed positive cases and provide the individual with information on healthcare and test resources. Have a plan for cleaning, disinfection, and contact tracing in the event of a positive case. Designate a central point of contact, which may vary by activity, location, shift, or day, responsible for receiving a testing to having review all questionnaires. With such contact, also identifies as the party for individual to inform if they later experience COVID-19 related symptom as noticed in the questionnaire. Okay, so suggestion: customers are strongly encouraged to inquire with the employee providing service directly on or to them about where the employee have received testing. Customer cannot be mandated to complete a health screen or provide contact information, but may be encouraged to do so. Okay, so if they feel like they might have COVID, you can't pressure them. Okay, that's just a suggestion. Perform screening remotely. I mentioned earlier through telephone or electric survey before people arrive to extent possible. Maintain a daily log of every person who may have close or proximate contact with other individuals at the hair salon or barbershop, excluding delivery that are performed with the proper PPE or through contactless means. Encourage but not require customers and visitors information as part of this log. Coordinate screen to prevent people from intermingling in close to proximate contact with each other prior to completion of the screen. Refer to CDC guidance on symptom of coronavirus for the most up-to-date information on symptoms associated with COVID-19. Screeners should be trained by individual familiar with CDC, DOH, or OSHA protocol and wear appropriate PPE, including a minimum of face covering. Refer to DOH guidance regarding protocol and policy for employee seeking to return work after a suspected or confirmed case of COVID-19 or after the employee had close to approximate contact with a person with COVID-19. I just also, it came to my mind, I know they mentioned a lot of people, Barberside certification, it's not mandatory. Barberside certification is one of certifications just for yourself and your client to know that you are compliant with all sanitation and sterilization that they're required by the Department of Health and CDC. A lot of people think that they cannot open their salon because they didn't do their Barberside certification. That is not a mandatory, but it's, so like I mentioned, it's something that you could be utilizing and put on the wall and let your clients know that you are keeping safety guidance into your salon. Any questions? Beauty United Strong, thank you. So this is where we end. Marlon, so if anybody has question of anything that I have spoken or something that they have heard or something that they haven't, question wasn't answered.
So thank you very much. I actually added a link to the safety plan on the chat. Stepped away for a second. So this covers all the material that you were going to do?
So Charito is going to be talking a little bit of more information in regarding to its important licensing.
Okay.
Will she do it in Spanish or English?
English, because we did the whole the webinars in English. We can probably do one in Spanish in the future.
Okay.
Okay. When the people come from different countries and you want to get the licenses for the state of New York, in this case from Mount Vernon City, it's really important to have you the title for your country. If you have more than 5 years experience, if you qualify, you can take it, you can get the license without take a test. If you have less than 5 years, you graduating for your school, you have to take a test, practical and theoretic. And this important, it's good to know because some people, they come straight to the school and sometimes the economy is really bad. So you save a lot of money to get the license in that way. Oh, in this case, if you don't know, you have to take the whole course and you have to take it, pay $50,000 to $20,000. It's really important to know to have in this when you come to work as a cosmetologist, barber, skincare, nail technician. If you need or you have any question, please, you can call us as a New York Cosmetology and Beauty Chamber of Commerce. We have the time to explain to you step by step.
Okay, so basically, those who have questions of what regarding to loans, I'm pretty sure Marlon's going to talk about a little bit briefly about that. But it's very important to understand you guys are not alone. We are supporting in every way we can. The New York Cosmetology Chamber of Commerce, we're having a beauty business outreach that we're starting next week. We're going out to every city. So that we could be able to give out PPEs, have some information regarding to future grants that right now is, like I mentioned, LISC is one of them that is out there. Verizon is one of them. So don't take those opportunities for granted. I mean, those are things that are that you could be able to help with your business. So it's important that you look at all these websites. I understand that right now your time is very limited because you're open and you have a lot of client coming to you. but please take the time to understand that, like I mentioned, the guidelines and the rules and regulations. Make sure you license. There are so many of you guys are not licensed. Now, those who are working from home, I did receive a lot of people saying that, how could I obtain my license from home, working from home? Well, if you haven't even studied and you're not going on the apprentice of anybody, you have to be an apprentice working with someone with a business license at a store so that you could be able to obtain the license. I know many business owners are very worried that their employees won't come back, but it's very important to also have an employee incentive, something that they will know that building together, becoming a team, it's very important to them. So I know it's a time of crisis, everybody trying to meet their needs, but you have to stay afloat and make sure you know, just in case, as I mentioned, if there's any second wave coming in, you are prepared. You know, you have all your papers intact, all your documents that you're supposed to have, so that if there's a possibility for you this time to be accepted for the PP programs and other programs that will help you out. So it's very important to have that. We will be having workshops and seminars, not just on the beauty advantage, but we also be doing business. So if you look into our website, which is www.nykosmetologchamber.org, you will find that we will have workshops and seminars on both business and beauty advancement. What's important also is job placement. There are a lot of employers are reaching out to us. They want more employees. So if you are a nail technician, if you're a barber, or you're a cosmetologist, or you want to obtain your apprentice in barbering or a nail technician, reach out to us. We do have job opportunity and immense job opportunity for you guys. And there are also information about, I know Charito, you have mentioned that we will be doing more of community outreach as much as we can, and work closely with our government and our city as well. All right.
There was a question. Hi, it's Marlon. There was a question. Do hairdressers have to get tested for COVID, and how often? And then there's a second question. But go that one. You can do that one first.
So we did, that's what we mentioned on the presentation. It is mandatory that they do get tested, okay, before coming back to work for them. It's very important that they get tested, and every 14 days, according to the regulation, they should make sure they have no symptom. If they do, they should be tested. By putting a log, it's very necessary to put a log for their employees, because again, it's very important that they do not, there's a lot of people who are not systematic. So it's very important for those who are clients that this person does not have any COVID on them. So yes, according to the regulation, you should be tested at every 14 days, according to the guidance.
Great. And then there was a second question, but it actually is asking about grants. So I'll take that question during my presentation. All right. So can I move on to grants? Was there anything else you wanted to add?
Charito?
I was off, I'm sorry.
If you have anything else to add.
Yes, my recommendation is try to get your license, because now is the time to make sure everything is ready in your beauty salon. I'm trying to say is avoid to have summons in your business. If you need any more information, we are here to telling the right way how you're supposed to do in your business. Or you can call to the city of Mount Vernon. They have all the information too.
So there's one question that came in. Do you help with job placement for licensed nail technicians or individuals looking to be part of an apprenticeship? I am I'm a Black-owned nail salon looking to expand my team during Covet.
Yes, I just previously stated that we do job placement, both employers and employees. And both sides are very needed, especially the employees. So yes, we do have people who are looking for work, and they give us the information if they're licensed or not licensed and what are specialized in the area. So what we do is collect their information, and those employers that are looking for an employee, we give you their information or specialty, if they're licensed or not licensed, and then you got the chance to interview them. And from there, you know, you guys are the one who make the agreement of how the payment, the commission, whatever it is that you guys do on your salon, particular salon.
Great, thank you very much. So, you know, all the information that you heard today, you know, I certainly encourage you to get in contact with the beauty chamber directly. During my presentation, I'm actually going to put up your website and your telephone number, so that folks can have an opportunity to write it down. So at this time, I'm going to start sharing my screen, and we're going to talk about access to capital. So, you know, for this pandemic, you know, has exposed two things. A lot of businesses were ready and prepared to participate in the financial aid that has been made available by the federal government, as well as by the state and by the county. Some other businesses are not able to do that because, you know, the accounting, you know, they have some issues with their accounting, cash, businesses that are cash heavy. Sometimes, you know, they don't keep their books up to date. And for all of these programs, you know, they do follow standard lending procedures, although a lot of the programs by the state, they may not be as strict as a program that's coming through the bank or through the federal government. But nonetheless, you know, how your business behaves on paper affects your ability to get access to grants, get access to low interest loans. And so today, you know, we're going to focus for a few minutes on what you need to do to participate now, and also what you need to do to prepare so that you're able to participate in you know, getting access to business loan and getting access to financial aid in the form of grants in the future. I think that during the presentation we heard that there's a possibility that we may get a second wave. So with a second wave, there's, you know, there might be additional funding. And, you know, it starts with access to capital, but the key is professional services. And, you know, we're going to talk about, you know, what does professional services mean? I think Romy touched on it: insurance, accounting, as well as legal services. You know, you have to be properly incorporated so that you're able to do business, and so that either a nonprofit lender or a bank or a state agency or a nonprofit organization can look at your business and say, you know what, I want to invest, I want to help stabilize this business and provide you access to capital. So the one that's been getting a lot of, that's being promoted throughout New York is the New York Forward Loan Fund. And then another program that's being promoted through Westchester County, it's a loan program and a grant program that it's, I've been advised that it's not gonna be, you know, promoted on radio or television, but that, you know, municipalities are encouraged to give out the information. So I will provide you with an email. But the first one that we're gonna talk about is the New York Loan Fund. And the reason why we're doing the website instead of going into a lot of details is because the best thing that you can do is link up with one of the organizations that's doing the loan preparation. So if you go to the website, www.nyloanfund.com, there's going to be a questionnaire. And depending on how you complete the questionnaire, it will refer you to one of the lenders. So, you know, if you're a small business owner, or if you're a nonprofit organization, or if you're a small landlord, you will be
Como se frizó la.
Is he frozen?
Yes, it seems like he is frozen.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay. So while he is frozen, as
Yes.
Marlon was saying, that you can connect with the New York Loan Fund and okay, he disappeared. Maybe he's gonna pop back in. So really definitely have people connect with the New York Loan Fund. Also, the County of Westchester is working with a volunteer group. They have over 250, 300 volunteers who are working with small businesses to apply for funds, whether it's the federal funds, the state funds. I know Mount Vernon, New Rochelle, White Plains, Yonkers, and the county have also received some COVID relief monies. And so that there are small business loan applications that are available that you can tap into through the County of Westchester, as well as the City of Mount Vernon, the City of Yonkers, and I believe New Rochelle and White Plains, unless they've turned that money over to the county. So, you know, if you have businesses in those local communities, please connect with the county, their small business development officer. And then here in the City of Mount Vernon, you would contact our Department of Planning and Community Development and speak with either Sylvia or Robin Mack, because they will be working with people. We are finalizing our small business loan process here in Mount Vernon, but it will be coming online. So I don't know, I had to step away for a few minutes. There are some questions in the Q&A. It says, do hairdressers have to take COVID tests? Did anyone
Yes,
respond to that question yet?
yeah,
So
we answered. Yes,
questions?
absolutely.
Okay.
Yes, we do. They have to, all employees have to have a COVID-19 test before they go back to workforce, yes. And if they do feel that they should be quarantined for the 14 days.
Absolutely. So
I
one
think
of the questions, it said Shades by Shar LLC, do you help with job placements for licensed nail technicians or individuals looking to be a part of an apprenticeship? I'm a Black-owned nail salon and I'm looking to expand my team during COVID.
So yes, we answered that as well. We do have a database of job opportunity, both for employees and employers and employees. Mostly employees are looking for to work. Yes,
So
we do
I'm
have
back.
that.
I apologize. My Wi-Fi failed. So I think I'll go back to the presentation. Is that okay?
Yes.
What?
All right. All right. So it happens. And I am now trying to. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I'm trying to. All right, so you know what? We'll do this. We'll go this way. So the New York Loan Fund, as I was mentioning, if you don't, you know, if you need assistance with completing it or going online, you can reach out to the Lehman College, and you can apply for up to $100,000. You know, if you demonstrate that you've had a positive cash flow leading up into March, that is, you know, that's sort of like the approach that they're having. It's not as strict as if you were getting a loan from a bank, but all we're saying is if you don't feel comfortable completing an application, the best thing that you can do is link up with one of the nonprofit organizations that can help you do it. For the Westchester County Loan Program, you can borrow up to $25,000 at 0%. So I'm going to repeat that, up to $25,000 at 0%. And again, they're going to be using, similar lending criteria that you would find at a bank, but it's going to be, like I said before, a little bit more relaxed. There is a $10,000 grant for personal protection equipment, and you know that's the reason why they're not advertising it online or on the radio or on TV, because you know when people see that's a significant amount to support a small business, So, there's limited funding. So what you need to do is you need to get online and email Corazon Pineda. She is at the Westchester County Industrial Development Agency. So when you email her, you're going to get on a list the application for the grant and the application for the loan is going to be released in the next few weeks. So you want to make sure that you've emailed them so this way you get it. And at the same time, by linking up with one of the technical assistance providers like the Beauty Chamber of Commerce or Lehman College, you can get assistance on how to complete the grant application as well as the loan application from Westchester County. And Romy mentioned the LISC Small Business Relief Grant. So right now the website www.lisc.org is where you go to get more information on the grant. The city of Mount Vernon does have a working relationship with LISC, so we're waiting for some marketing materials. So if you've signed up for the webinar, we're going to make sure to share that with you. But again, take down notes on the websites that you need to know. So we talked about where you are today. Can you apply for a loan, or do you need assistance in getting your accounting together? The banks, the nonprofit lenders, and the nonprofit organizations that are administering a lot of the state aid or the federal aid, they want to know how your business is doing, but more importantly, they need to see that on paper because they have to report it whenever they give out a grant or whenever they give out a loan. So, becoming bankable has everything to do with you having access to professional services. So legal services make sure that you are properly incorporated. They can also give you advice on making sure that you get the proper licenses to operate your business. Insurance obviously has everything to do with protecting your business, protecting your assets, reducing liability, and accounting is very important. A lender always wants to see, if I lend money to this business, do they have enough revenue to pay me back? And Romy mentioned the fact that if you have a business where you're renting out a chair, what's the tax implication for that? If you're doing all cash businesses and you have your expenses, what's the implication for that? Are you making enough money to cover your expenses? And do you have enough money left? Would you have enough money left over to pay for a loan? There's a lot of online lenders that have high interest rates, and people often trade access to that money for higher interest rates. Whereas if you go with a nonprofit lender called an alternative lender, the interest rate might be lower. The bank always offers the best rates, but they're required to look at your books, and so you might be able to participate today, but if not, you have to think about it. Can I take the next 6 months to get all my paperwork together, or is it going to take me a year to get all my paperwork together? But in the end, access to capital is something that you're always going to need as a small business if you want to grow, if you want to open up a second location, or if you are working from home and you're saying, I want to take my business to the next level and apply for a small business loan to open up a storefront. Those are all possibilities that become available if you have the proper incorporation, proper insurance, and if you maintain your books. So that's why it is important. And so, the next question is, so how do I get a referral to a professional service? So this is where, Lehman College, SBDC, as well as the, Beauty Chamber of Commerce can be an asset to you. They'll help you discover sources of funding. They'll give you access to professional services. They'll help you develop marketing plan. and they can help you comply with licensing and regulation. So the contact information, this is where you get your pen and your paper out, or if you're on your phone, you can write this down. So Lehman College is doing all of their technical assistance virtually, so you can meet with them, via Zoom or over the phone. The reason we're not including their address is because the campus is closed. So they're conducting all of their services online. So you see the email in front of you is sbdc.bronx@lehman.cuny.edu, or you can call them over the phone at 718-960-8806. And as you can see, they do speak Spanish, hablan español. So si usted necesita ayuda, puede llamarlos por teléfono y hacer una cita para que ellos le puedan ayudar. So the next, Romy, I hope I got the website correct.
Yes.
Okay, excellent. So that is the website for the New York Hispanic Cosmetology and Beauty Chamber of Commerce. I was able to say that because I read it. Or you can call them on the phone. Is it 914-708-7656?
Yes.
Excellent. So, this concludes, the formal presentation. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to see if there are any additional questions. But, in closing, I want to say that, you have to take a look at where you are. You've reopened your business. And, if you need assistance, there's a lot of help out there, but you need to connect. And you need to be able to reach these organizations. They're there to help. They want to help. This webinar that the City of Mount Vernon has organized is an effort to connect you to those resources. And so I'm going to check for questions now. All right, so one of the question was, okay, back to the question of hairdressers taking COVID tests. Do hairdressers who have not been exposed need to test too?
Yes.
Okay.
Everyone who, before they come into their job, especially in the beauty industry, they have to get tested, and that's by the state of New York.
Can you repeat? Can you repeat your telephone number slowly?
914-708-7656.
And then the other question is, may you create an email list for these webinar attendees to send us important information? Yes, we are absolutely going to share this information. It's posted on Facebook, so you can always go back to the city's website, the city's Facebook page, to take a look and review the information that was shared tonight. Okay, so Mayor Patterson Howard, I think that we're coming to the end of the presentation. Do you have any closing remarks?
No, I just really want to say thank you so much to both of our incredible guests, to Charito Cisneros and Romney. I want to thank both of you so much for sharing your passion and your expertise. Marlon for putting this together. Dwayne and Robin for going out and making sure that people knew about this event. And then those of you who are on Facebook, whether you're watching this live now or you watch it later on, we ask that you continue to share this video and tag friends and make sure that they get this information. This information, so a lot of this information wasn't just important for the personal care industry, but also any small business that is looking for loans and PPE equipment. So while the focus tonight and some of the technical information was targeted to the personal care business, people who have small businesses of all kinds can also get good information. And then also customers of all businesses can understand what standards your personal care agencies and businesses that you patronize should be following. So this information is very important. I thank you for being our partners and sharing this information with the community. And we will continue to do these type of workshops for different industries, because the work continues. You know, like I said in the beginning, and I'll end the same way, that our small businesses are the backbone of our community. They are big employers, and they provide critical services and then luxury services. And some of the services are just services that we like or enjoy. And we want to make sure that as a city, we are doing our part to help you identify and connect to much needed resources, gain access to capital, ensure that you're operating your business in a way that is compliant with local, county, state, and federal regulations, and that you know how to access the supports and the services that you need. So again, thank you so much for partnering with us tonight.
Thank you, Ms. Howard.
And let's continue to find ways to expand the work that we're doing together, because there's a lot of people that we need to reach, and we need good partners to help us to get that information out.
Absolutely.
So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for supporting the beauty industry as well.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Mrs. Mayor. It was my pleasure to work with you. Thank you so much. I would like to continue work together as a partner. It's really important to help all the small business in this case, especially in this time. Thank you so much for your time. Marlon, thank you for doing this event. Thank you so much. And I would like to work together.
Thank you very much.
Gracias. Dios te bendiga, mi hermanas. Yeah, see, you didn't know.
Oh, you shoot out with that one. Yes. And she got the whole accent and everything.
Look, I worked in Jonkers for 12 years, right?
Okay.
Jonkers in Nueva York, right? So
Very good. Okay. Buenas noches. Muchísimas gracias.
Gracias.
Buenas noches.
Buenas noches. Good night.
Buenas noches.
Good night.
Bye-bye.